Sweet E Pie from Chile asks, Raj, part of the abundance mindset is to be supportive of coworkers. But sometimes one has to criticize coworkers because they did something wrong. What advice would you have for these occasions? Well, Sweetie Pie, here's my advice. Never criticize a coworker until you've walked a mile in their shoes. That way, when you do criticize them, they won't be able to hear you from all that far away. And as an added bonus, you'll have their shoes. Well, jokes apart, I've written a couple of articles on the topic of how to provide constructive feedback and how to deal with negative people. Well, my heroes and heroines, we are down to the final lap, Module 8 of the course, continuing the heroic journey. I'm going to start this module with a short summary of what we have learned so far in this course. But to do this, I'm going to first seek your help. You will soon see a bunch of topics listed on the screen. I want you to select all the topics that have at least a ring of familiarity for you. We will continue with the video after that. Wow, we have covered quite a bit of ground on our heroic journey, haven't we? Now, as I mentioned at the very beginning of this journey, if you have been diligent and open-minded in this course, you're almost certain to have come out a winner, not just in terms of happiness, but also in terms of your success. Now, as I'm sure you've gathered, this course is not about avoiding negativity at all costs and pretending to be happy. It's not about becoming Pollyanna-ish. Rather, it's about being optimistic and resilient. It is about having the ability to change your negativity and pessimism when you know that they're not serving you well. This course is about having the power to change your feelings when you're feeling negative, when you'd rather not. Having the power to feel happy and fulfilled is important for many reasons. As we saw, happier people are physically healthier, so they take less sick leave. Happier people are also more collegial, so they are better team players. Happier people are also more creative and make better, more objective decisions. So it's not a big surprise that organizations with happier employees are more productive and profitable. This is why investing in employee happiness is a very smart thing to do. Many companies around the world recognize this, of course, including this amazing organization called Incentro from the Netherlands. Here's Stef Legomatis, founder and CEO of Incentro, talking about this. Listen.
Because the core belief within our company is that happy Incentronauts, our employees, deliver excellent results. So we believe that almost the other way around than that most other companies look at the world, where they think, okay, first of all, we have to make decent financial returns, for instance, because that will lead to happiness. And for us, it's the other way around. We believe that if we are able to create happiness within and external of our company, the financial results will follow. It will be a no-brainer.
Stef is essentially echoing what several researchers have documented, as we have heard. If happier organizations are more productive and profitable, what can organizations do to improve employee happiness? To start with, it would be useful for organizations to gain an understanding of the 5 main determinants of employee happiness: basic needs, autonomy, mastery, belonging, and abundance culture. In other words, BAMBA. Now, as we learned, although organizations can do a lot along each of these 5 dimensions to boost happiness of employees, employees can do even more for their own happiness. That is, as we mentioned earlier, although it takes 2 to BAMBA, the employee, you, are the lead dancer. We discussed several things that you can do for yourself and for your coworkers to help boost happiness at work. Hopefully, you've tried to do both. That is, you've tried to implement the things we have recommended for boosting your own happiness, and also tried to implement the things you could do for boosting your coworkers' happiness. The latter part is important because, as we saw in Module 6, the health of our relationships at work matter a lot for our happiness. And as a lot of findings show, the more you genuinely care for your coworkers, the happier and more successful you are likely to be. Let me turn now to the main topics we covered in this module, Module 7. We started with how culture is an important determinant of happiness because culture is a feature of the environment, and the environment wields a powerful influence over our behaviors. I suggested that culture comes in two main varieties, abundance and scarcity, and that abundance-oriented cultures are better at promoting happiness. How does an abundance-oriented culture differ from a scarcity-oriented one? Well, abundance orientation stems from the firm belief that everybody can win and succeed, and that life is not a zero-sum game. And as we heard from Professor Rao, if you can get a critical mass of employees to subscribe to this view, your organization would be home. That is, not only would you have a happy organization, you'd also have a highly innovative organization that enjoys great relationships with customers, suppliers, and the community at large. And all of that, in turn, would lead to greater profits. Here's Raj Sisodia, one last time, talking about this virtuous win-win-win cycle that only an abundance culture can generate.
See that when you hire people, so let's say Whole Foods, right? You've got your purpose, which is to educate people that what you put into your body makes a difference to your health, the health of the food system, and the health of the planet. You hire people with congruent values who are foodies and care about health, right? For them, working at Whole Foods is an extension of who they are. Right? It's not even just a job or a career, it's a calling, right? And so they are passionate and deeply engaged in their work. They really love it. They look forward to going to work. They don't say, thank God it's Friday, I'm out of here, right? I mean, their work is an extension of who they are. You give them lots of autonomy, lots of responsible freedom, lots of respect, treat them well, pay them well, give them good benefits. They're happy, they're fulfilled, they're creative, they're innovative, they take care of customers, they come up with new ideas all the time. Whole Foods innovation has always trickled up from the store level, people coming up with new ways to do things. You do the same thing with your suppliers, treat them as an extension of the family. They're also, in a way, similar to employees. And therefore you end up with a great experience for customers. Customers are happy, they come back, they have a positive word of mouth. You don't need to spend. Whole Foods, when I first studied them, spend 90% less than the industry average on marketing. They didn't have a marketing department, they didn't have a chief marketing officer. They had no ad agency. It was all what they did at the store level, and that too in the community, that was marketing. So customers are happy, sales are high, growth is high, and therefore the investors are happy, you've got great returns.
If, as we just heard, an abundance culture has all these positive effects, the question is, how do we nurture such an orientation? Well, here are three things you can do to instill such an orientation in yourself. Surround yourself with abundance-oriented stimuli and coworkers, take a news fast, and maintain a 3 good things journal. You can also do 3 things to instill abundance orientation in your coworkers. Create equality among employees, treat external stakeholders, particularly your suppliers and your customers, of course, well, and finally, create a culture of recognition that doesn't emphasize singling out one employee at a cost to everyone else. How well you know if you've managed to inculcate an abundance culture in your organization? Well, you'll know when your employees start behaving in an abundance-oriented fashion, not just with each other, but even with the outside world. Believe me, that can happen. Here's R. Gopalakrishnan, Executive Director of TATA Group, recounting exactly such a story. I must mention that the video and the audio quality aren't very good, so you may want to pay a little extra attention.
This incident was about 5 years ago. I was driving back home, sitting in the front seat with my chauffeur, driving the car with my iPad, and suddenly we were called aside by the policeman. My driver went out to find out what the reason was, and they both came back to ask me to get out of the car, and the policeman told me that your driver has jumped a red light. And I said, listen, I can't defend him other than on emotional grounds because I was looking at my iPad. And he says he did not, you're saying he did. The only way I can resolve this is if there's a fine, I'll pay it because I could go on arguing how will I resolve it. Then he looked at the driver's epaulette and found Tata written there and asked me whether I worked in Tata, and I said yes. And he asked me what I did, and I told him. And he said, then I would not like to find you. So I said, I don't see the connection between the jumping the red light and my working in Tata. And he narrated this story. It was very touching. It was utterly simple, but then the most touching stories are utterly simple. He said about 10 years ago, he worked in the Fulton Road police station in Bombay, and due to some administrative hindrance, the raincoats had not arrived. Every policeman is entitled to a raincoat in the monsoon, so he would wear it during the outdoor duty. And the monsoon had come a bit early, and the administrative procedure having blocked it, they were out getting wet in the rain. And when this was noticed by a Tata administration manager who was in the habit of visiting the police station for various approvals, he, without being asked, apparently procured 20 umbrellas and gave it to the police station. So every police station, he said, from Tata's, we would like to show our appreciation for your year-round service. Why should you get wet in the rain? Because I'm sure your raincoat will come. And indeed, they did come after 2 or 3 weeks, but he said, keep the umbrellas. He could not remember the name of the employee. He could not remember exactly when it happened. And when I went back to my office, I checked and I could trace the employee and I could trace what actually happened. And it just gave me a feeling of irrational exuberance. And I have to say, increased my engagement with Tatas, because it is out of such acts of uncredited and unremembered kindness that corporate reputations are built.
Wasn't that just an incredible story? See you soon in the next video, in which I will discuss a very important topic: how not to let your success come in the way of your happiness. See you soon.